I'm sitting in my car here and just want to do a quick recording on the matter of the question to wear or not to wear a mask. That is the question. And it was quite synchronistic because I was just walking on the promenade now by the beach. It started raining and very quiet, not many people. And as I was about to, get to my car, I heard this, sort of in the parking lot, I heard this woman speaking to probably her husband. She says, "I'm never ever coming here again." She was out of breath. She says, "Not one effing person was wearing a mask, you know. And I heard I wasn't wearing a mask. And I think she might have been wearing a mask while she was running, while she was out of breath. I'm not sure. I didn't turn around to see. I wasn't really interested. I had my earphones on and pretended like I didn't hear. It was quite close to me. I think also she might have said it in earshot for me to hear. She's letting out her frustration. These people, what's going on here? Her husband was wearing a mask. He wasn't wearing a mask. He was wearing something that goes around your neck that you lift over your mouth and your nose. I don't know if you can call that a mask. I don't know what we deem a mask to be nowadays. I'm not quite sure. I suppose if it's just any kind of fabric, I suppose it could even be a tissue. It's just something or other, or so on and so forth. I heard the other day, and I agree very much so, that fear has become the new virtue. If you're fearful, then you're like a virtuous person. Then you're somebody who's to be respected in a way. It's a virtue to be fearful, basically. And the more fearful you are, and the more believe that you are of this whole situation, and the more that you comply, the more virtuous kind of person that you are. And you get all different kind of extremes of people. It's whatever it is. Anyway, it's a whole big discussion. It's not going to be a long recording. I might do a part two, simply because I'll be honest, I'm needing the loo. I'm pretty hungry. I'm wet, and I'm sitting in the car. But it's the spur of the moment, just doing a talk. I mean, I've been thinking about what I want to say, but I also realize that it's a lot of ground to cover. And so for myself, let me put it this way. Like, there are people that are very anti-maskers, and they refuse to put on a mask, and I'm with them, I'm in that camp. And if you have wanting to wear a mask, and, you even enforcing other people to wear a mask, and you're insisting on other people to wear a mask, then I'm on that camp as well, I'm on both sides, whatever it is. I mean, I'm indifferent to both, really. Whatever you wish is your choice. People might say, "How can you say that? It's so wrong to say. We got to show an example. I will not be muzzled. I will not be this, and I will not be that." Well, firstly, there's a lot to be said on this, but when I wear a mask, I don't feel that way. I don't feel like I'm giving in. Now, some people might feel that they are giving in, and that's for you. But for me, like, for example, firstly, I almost 99% do not wear a mask covering my nose. A majority of the time, it's half falling down my mouth, it's sitting on my chin, or whatever it is. Like, for me, I cannot wear a mask over my nose. It's just not, not even for 5 minutes. It's just, I don't know what it does to me. It just doesn't agree with me at all, and I just don't feel well. Anyway, I have these neighbors, and they probably in their late 60s, early 70s. I'd probably say, probably early 70s. And the lady, she hasn't, I think only recently she got her hair dyed, but she had the grey coming out. I mean, she was refusing even to go to the hairdresser, whatever it was, that she was in such fear. And you know what? She's a very nice woman. Her name's Kelly. And they're nice neighbors. They're very friendly people. And whenever I've had an issue, they've been, they also take care of the complex that I live in, and they're on board with everything. And, I'm sure anything, favors that you need to ask, they'll come to the party. I haven't known them for a long time, and they're my neighbors. And, when I'm dealing with them or something like that, when we have to fix I have to bring in my remote control for them to have a look at, or, change the code on the remote control for the gate. I wear a mask, and I'm like, I'm more than happy to, again, it's not over my nose, but I'm more than happy to, because, I understand your fear. I understand that you believe this. I understand that you follow this. I understand that you feel that I might be insensitive to you, and I might be, endangering your life. I understand that because it's what you've been told. It's not for me to say, well, you're a sheeple, you're asleep, you're believing the hoax, the propagandas, whatever it is, etc. I'm not interested in that because that's not the level I'm working on with them. I'm working on a, human to human level now, in that way. Okay? A common decency in that regard. Now, if I was working in a job where they told me I have to wear a mask all the time and over my nose and my mouth and whatever it is, majority of that, well, I'd probably not be able to work there anymore. I'd really have to think about that. Again, not because there's so much enforcing it upon me, but just because it's just so uncomfortable for me. I've realized I've had to conform in this life on so many levels. I've had to, and you know what? It's got me. It's made my life much easier. I don't have to go around and tell people about their diets. I can hint it from time to time. I don't have to go around and tell people that they watch too much TV or something about cell phone radiation or EMF waves. I don't have to tell them that. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in trying to wake people up, right? And I'm really not. Right, I care for them, I love them, and if I can advise them or if they ask me a question, then absolutely so. But I respect them. I respect them that they don't understand the conspiracy that's going on. They don't understand that, the greatest trick that the devil ever pulled was convincing the world it didn't exist. They don't understand these things. It's way beyond their comprehension. And I must humble myself to understand that this is where they're holding. And that has helped me so much in my life to understand where people are holding. I can respect where they're holding. And there's obviously boundaries and there's obviously degrees of that of which I can respect it until it starts encroaching and compromising on who I am and what I am about. Right? Like there's a lot of the inauthentic self that I'm not willing to play in order to get along with others. I'm not prepared to sell something that is maybe defected or broken and pretend that it's not. I don't like to lie the best of times, and I don't like to be deceitful, and I don't like to be manipulative, and I like to take other people into consideration. For example, there was somebody who bought a massage bed from me the other day, and he couldn't see it because he lived far away, but he sent the truck to pick it up. I didn't manage to take pictures of it because I was not home. Anyway, it is a long story, but they picked it up and he received it, and I was saying to him, look man, I charge you 600 Rand. He's a nice guy, I know who he is, relatively. I mean, he's bought a previous bed from me before a year ago. Let's just be fair. If you feel like you've been cheated, then but I know who he is. But I mean, that kind of honesty, that I try and conduct myself with. I mean, in fairness, absolute fairness, is very difficult to do. But where I will lie, and I don't mind lying, is that if this woman on the promenade came up to me and she said, "Where is your mask?" I would either just say to her, "You know what, that's a good question." So like, well, what do you mean it's a good question? I'm asking you, where's your mask? I said, you know what, I had it in my car, right? I got out, I started walking, I looked around, and I just disappeared. I got back in my car, I can't find it. I was at the petrol station, the gas station, maybe it fell out. I just don't know where it is. Just so, well, it's, why don't you go and buy a new one? And I would say, I was thinking about this while, only afterwards. I mean, I didn't prepare a whole speech for it, Nobody's really asked me where is my mask, because I generally have one, I don't wear one in the car. I don't believe that there's any necessity for a mask whatsoever. Let's just get that straight, right? This whole thing is not what it appears to be, and I don't even follow the contagious, idea that we catch a flu from somebody else. I don't even follow that, right? I think HIV/AIDS is not what it is at all whatsoever, So I mean, I'm on that side. I mean, I'm aware of those kind of things. I really don't feel that you catch the flu. I think it's the body that's detoxing itself from all the toxins, whatever it is, and that's a whole nother discussion and whatever it is. But so I just feel they absolutely have, what do they say? It's a terrible saying. I think it's as useful as I'm not going to say something on a nun. Yeah. Anyway, so this person, anyway, so if she asked me, this woman, and said to me, I said, look, she says, well, why don't you go home and get it? And I'd be like, you're right. I probably should, but you know what? I haven't got much time to spare. I got to be at work. I really need to, stretch my legs. I know it's terrible. I'm going to try and stay away from people. And she's like, good, fine, but next time you remember your mask. Or I could say to her, like, I can't, I have an exception. I have an exception. There's a word for it. I think I'm exempt because I have asthma, or I have what's the other one? Oh man, well, it's also you can't breathe. It's I can't remember what the word is now. Can you imagine somebody asks me and I say I've got this thing, and they say, what is it? It's I can't remember what it is. If it comes to me, I'll remember. But quite a few people have it as well. I can't remember. Damn it. Anyway, so I would lie because I'm not going to say to her, look, I don't think I should need to wear a mask. I don't think it, because she'll say she is so brainwashed. She is so much in fear. She is so traumatized. She is under such a heavy trance, right? She is so heavily sedated to the truth that it would be unreasonable to have a conversation with this woman. Anybody who comes up to me and asks me, that kind of question, I'm going to try and say to him, well, look, it's BS, or I'll send you a video on YouTube, or you can't breathe with it, or it doesn't help anyways. Forget about it. I wouldn't even bother, because it's, again, oh my heavens me. You can't, you try and, there's just no ways it's going to happen. It would just be draining. It would really be stupid on my behalf to think I could have a reasonable conversation with somebody who's attacking me. Only thing that's going to land up is them just continuously attacking me. They're not open-minded. They're not interested to hear my alternative opinion, my woo-woo fringe conspiracy opinion. They're not interested in it, especially if they're taking that kind of attitude. They're thinking that you are a plague. You're carrying this deadly thing, and you the last thing they're wanting to hear, they're going to honestly take your opinion at and think about it and say, thank you, you've actually given me something to think about. It doesn't matter who you say. I could be a doctor, I could be a professor, but because I'm not mainstream and I'm not one of these players in the game, I can't wake her up to anything else. I'm not the hypnotist to put her under that trance. So there's nothing I can do, and I'd be wasting my time and wasting my energy, and I'd be being stupid. I'd honestly being, I don't know. I can't work out like that. This woman's just gonna, I've used to do this in the past with so many other conversations, with so many other topics and things like that, and it just didn't get me anywhere. And I walked away and I felt like an idiot. And they you try to, I don't know, mind control me, or you try to bring me over to the other side, or and I got the better of him. I showed him because they're stubborn. They whatever it is. Not even that they're stubborn. Anyway, so it's a tricky one. It really is a tricky one. I'm going to wear a mask because otherwise I can't go into a shopping center. But at the same time, and I don't know, I'm not bothered if people wear masks. They do what they do. If people want to get the needle, get the needle. I won't be taking the needle. I won't be rolling up my sleeve. Forget about it. But if you want to do it, you do it, because that's your dharma. That's where you're holding. That's what you come here to experience. So on and so forth. I cannot save you from yourself. Even if I love you, you're not going to understand me. Even if it's a family member. If they said to me, this will happen to me. A family member asked me the other day, said, what will you do about the needle? And I said, look, I'm in no rush. What do you mean you're in no rush? How can you say that? I said, I don't trust it. And they were already sort of branding me and categorizing me as whatever it was. And that's fine. And I said, I'll see how other people manage. I know that you're going to take it. Let's see how you do. and in time I'll consider it. I'm just because I'm playing into. I'm not considering it at all. There's no reason to consider it whatsoever. In my world, this thing is, you might as well, write your will by taking this thing. I know it's horrible, but that's how I feel on so many levels. I don't know what to say. There's obviously a reason that they put so much effort into this thing, into this needle than anything else in the world. I mean, however many people are dying of so-called HIV, and there is no HIV, there is no vaccine for it. There's no needle for, just don't even like saying the word. There's no needle for so many other things, but let's the whole, I don't need to talk to you. I'm preaching to the choir here for most of you. I'm preaching to the choir, but to other people. So what I'm saying is that, like, when I see people wearing masks, I say, that makes sense. What do we think? What kind of world do we think that we live in? People are free, that they think for themselves. People, part of these WhatsApp groups where people talk like, for things to go back to normal, and just like how they wish for it to go. There was never normal. There's never has been a normal. Now we're not free anymore. You've never been free, my boy. You've never been free. And now, like, I'm part of these groups also on Facebook, and they're talking about like how we're all going to wake up other people, and how we're going to resist this, and how we're going to stand for our rights and things like that. And that's great. But what about, I think it's a thing by Jim Morrison, who said, like, until you've actually freed yourself in a way from your own mental slavery, as also Bob Marley would say, emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds. It's an inside job, right? It's awakening to your inauthentic self, to your sleeping nature, that you think that you're a human being only, and so on and so forth, and with a name and a title and a status, but you're so much more than that. And you think of yourself as very, disgraceful. You think of yourself as have no value. There's so many things that you just don't know who you are, right? That's the biggest conspiracy that has ever been and ever will be. There's bigger. There's secondary, but the first and foremost is that you're a ghost unto yourself. That you have no true relationship with your divinity. You have no relationship whatsoever. You don't know who you are. So before you go outside in the world and you thinking that you know what's right and what you're going to be changing, and sometimes you do intuitively know, whatever it is, depending on the circumstances, but 9 out of 10 times you have no idea. And you have no idea. And good, you want to be, how much of it is just for your own virtual signaling? How much of it is just giving you something to do? Like giving you a purpose to, like, be a warrior and stand up and whatever, and be accounted for. The sleeping lion hold, whatever it is. So, okay, fine. There's some merit to it. But, like, at the end of the day, why are you doing it? Well, people should be free. Why? People shouldn't be slaves. Why? Do we even know how for us not to be slaves? Slaves to our desires, slaves to our lower nature, our carnal nature, to our egos, to our emotions, to our addictions, to... Do me a favor, in these groups, these Facebook groups, these WhatsApp groups, they don't talk about the mind control. They do in a way, but they don't talk about, like, they don't sit. I want to say, well, how are your diets, people? How are your diets, first and foremost? How's your health? Right? Are you working? What can you tell me about your health? What do you seriously? How much time do you spend on your own? How much time do you spend meditating? How much time do you spend journaling, self-introspecting, asking why? And so much more. I'm just briefing it here. But how much of it? How much do you know of your history? How much do you know of the traumas? How much do you know of your fears? What's your relationship like to God? What's your relationship like to yourself? You think you're going to free... What are you going to free people from? And where are you going to lead them to? What are you going to tell them besides for, well, I stood up for your right? So, no, you didn't. You didn't know how to do that. You didn't know. Ah. Sorry, I'm just not really getting out what I'm trying to say, and I'm needing the toilet. I'm getting hungry. You know. So I commend people for standing up. I commend people for thinking out the box. This awakening. Oh, they've awakened. Like Mr. Gates didn't realize that, with this whole scenario that's going on, that so many people are going to become awake. Awake? Really? To what? To what? This is things that people should have been awakened to a long time ago. It's not the be all and end all. It's not that freeing. It's not that liberating. It doesn't make so much of a difference. How many people that I have met that know about the powers that be, the establishment, that know about all of the secret societies, that know all about everything, whatever. When I talk to them and they know whatever it is, it's like, or even psychedelics, I talk to them, it's like, hello, you just a whole bunch of all this information, and you're like, you whatever it is, but what do you know? What do you understand about imagination? What do you understand about your dreams? What do you understand about your own psyche, your own subconscious? What do you understand about the astral realms? What do you understand about the psychedelic realms? What do you understand about your very purpose here? Is it just so you can come here and and it's great to be aware of these things, and who was involved when the towers fell on that date and whatever it was, and and to know and who shot who, and who really did this and who really did this. Yeah, very good. Inspector Gadget, Sherlock Holmes, fantastic. But that's all you figured out. You've just figured out the first layer, and that's just where they've kept you busy all the time. And they've put, and you followed this down this road. But for yourself, who are you as a person? How has your soul evolved? Right? How do you trust yourself more? How connected are you to your intuition? How much do you like yourself? How much do you care for yourself? How much do you honor yourself? How much do you respect yourself? How much are you aware of darker energies in the world? Energies, environments, whatever it is, fluorescent lighting, very loud or perverse music, big TV screens, whatever it might be. Because if you're not uncomfortable in the city, if you're not uncomfortable without going to nature every now and again, whatever it is, then as far as I'm concerned, and I think this is down the line for everybody, then you don't know who you are. Then if you're not looking for peace in your life in a certain way, and not connecting with nature, the nature of the spirit of nature in some way or another, and you're just like, oh, well, did you know about Fauci, and he saw this about this, and he did, and things. So like, no, I'm sorry. It's part of it, and that's why there's so many Out of the Shadows and The Fall of the Cabal and all these movies that are all inside whatever it is. And Thrive. I mean, the Thrive movie is got the one eye symbolism on the cover of the documentary. It's like, are they freeing us? People are doing these independent documentaries. No, they're not. No, they're not. Just like Alex Jones is not out for your freedom, whatever it is. Just like David Icke doesn't care if you wake up or whatever it is, or he's genuine. No. That's not their jobs. That is not their job, right? If you look at these individuals, if you look at these people, they're not people for myself that I feel comfortable looking at. David Icke is somebody who is not a warm character to me. He doesn't seem like somebody I would like to go to and discuss, I don't know, hardships of my life, or just, whatever it is, or Alex Jones. These aren't, I don't know, but I can tell you other people where, I just fall in love with them. I'm saying, just with their character, just with their being, just with their truth, just with their energy, But anyway, that's besides the point. But again, because I know I watch these documentaries and I send them to my friends and check this out and check that out, whatever it is, and we're so awake, and we're part of the Q movement, or we're part of the Anonymous. I don't think it's around anymore, whatever it is. It's like, oh, come on now, for heaven's sake. And we know that the weather is controlled, and we know that they can do this, and whatever it is, and so. But you understand the significance of things. Do you understand the significance of things? Do you understand why they are here? The cabal, whatever you want to call them. Do you understand what their job is? What is their purpose here? Why are they allowed to reign hell here? Why are they? Do you not think that it's been established and agreed upon that they do what they do? Do you not think that they're allowed to get as far as they have because human beings have been complicit on a soulful level? Because human beings have not wanted to identify themselves or know themselves for who they really are, and therefore that's why they have such a strong force. Do you not know that we are feeding them bioenergetically in so many different ways? Do you understand the spiritual side of it, the darker side of it, the underworld side of it? Do you understand any of that? The occult side of it? Some of that the people, they know whatever it is, that they use numbers and the 33s and this and that and whatever it is. But why? What is the spiritual significance? What is the metaphysical significance of it? Well, there is nothing. It's just good guys and bad guys, cowboys and Indians, good cop, bad cop. Well, not good cop, but bad cop, or something like that. But that's just what it is. Do you understand duality? Do you understand your duality? What do you understand here? So when I come and somebody says to me, "We're not wearing a mask," and I'm going to come and tell them why I'm not, and think that they're going to understand me, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I've got so many more lifetimes to go if that's the case. If I literally am going to entertain and try and wake them up and show them or whatever it is. If somebody comes and asks me, "What do you think?" or whatever it is, or something, I'll give you my honest opinion. But I can't be honest with you. I can't. I'm saying with a woman who comes to me like that. Anyways, I need to get going. But so, for me, it's not such a big deal. This is the world we live in. I mean, we're breathing in toxins. They've polluted everything, and what? I mean, and all of a sudden, because I have to put this on my face or whatever it is when I go into public spaces or something like that I'm going to throw my hands up. I'm so used to their shit and taking their shit. I'm so used to the compromising of the cell phone towers going up wherever they wish, right? I'm so used to the listening in and the eavesdropping on our conversations even now. I'm so used to having them around and being in my business, as Matt from Quantum of Conscience says, getting in my business. I'm so used to it. I'm so used to the so-called sleeping masses. I'm so used to them. It doesn't surprise me, and in at least, I mean, I am shocked to some degree for some of them, right? Because it's so blatantly obvious. But we need to understand the times that we are in. We need to understand the type of magic, occult magic that's going on. We need to understand it from an astrological, from an occult, from an esoteric, from a metaphysical, right? From a psychological, from a spiritual, metaphysical. I mean, so many of these, areas we need to understand. I mean, if we can. And whatever it is. So it doesn't surprise me. People have been guzzling down McDonald's, KFCs. They've been injecting their children from their very young age. We've been going through the harshest school system of soul-destroying, spirit-crushing, imagination eroding, brick in the wall, turn into a brick in the wall system for like 16 years of your life. I mean, if you want to talk about university, we've been watching these HD TVs at I don't know, a flick rate of 33 frames or 32 frames per second or something like that. I don't know, like it's absolutely, I don't know if that makes sense or not. Well, you know what I'm saying. The flicker rate or whatever it is. We've been watching garbage. We've been watching violence. We've been watching murder. As entertainment. That's it. We've induced to our children Barbie and Ken dolls, and for girls to be wearing makeup at the age of 7 years old. We've given cell phones. Oh, do me a favor, people. Do me a favor. That you're surprised that they're wearing a mask and they want to take that they buy. You're surprised. I mean, do me a favor. I didn't even touch the tip of the iceberg in regards to how dumbed down, how arrested development people are, how spiritually de-evolved they are, how psychologically traumatized they are. I haven't even touched the tip of the iceberg. It would take weeks for us to get into it. Weeks to get into it. And this hasn't just started, I don't know, 2 years ago, 3, 4, 5 years ago, 6, 7, 8, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago, 50 years ago. It's been going on for a very, very long time. Religion has kick-started this thing, a hell of a long time ago. Not all parts of religion, but the watered-down parts of it, the man-made parts of it, which is a lot of it, whatever it is, but, has also played a role for a very, very long time. We have inherited such a dark history of, you're just born into this world and you just hear about conflict, war, slavery, pillaging, pilgrims, holocausts. You just about freaking name it. You're just born into this world. This is what we inherit on this world. Do me a favor. Do me a favor. So that somebody's not going to wear them more. I said it before, if they could prove that putting a bone through your nose had scientific whatever it is, now it sounds extreme, but they would find a way to do it. Maybe not a bone per se, but they would find something or other, this whole thing now with the social, whatever you want to call it, I don't even like saying these terms, the washing of the hand. Do me a favor. This is just on the same lines of, I don't know, something that wouldn't cause you too much pain. Sticking a pencil behind your ear because the granite in the pencil, has this kind of effect. And people, okay. And you'll say, no, in the beginning that sounds a bit crazy. People won't, but give it time. Give it time and people will start doing it. 2 pencils behind, 1 pencil behind each ear and whatever it is. Yeah, it grows on people. It grows. It sounds ridiculous now, but it's not. The perversions now, the sexual perversions, the sexuality that I'm saying when we look on TV, it's kind of normal. Miley Cyrus grabbing her crotch on stage while rubbing up against a teddy bear. This is the girl who was the Disney princess. She was just a few moments ago Hannah Montana, who raised so many children. But this is normal. What Madonna gets up to is normal. What Beyonce gets up to is normal. Rihanna is normal. The lyrics in these hip-hop music is just normal. Shaggy talking about, my friend, my woman came home and she caught me butt naked banging on the kitchen floor. Or 50 Cent, I'll take you to the candy shop, I'll make you lick the lollipop. And this is playing on the radio in the grocery store while you doing your groceries. Let's not even get into how contaminated the food is. Whatever it is. This is what's playing on and people think it's normal. Oh, I love this song. Oh, I love it. I really like it. It's got such a, I feel like a gangster when I'm listening to it. Please do me a favor. It's normalized. We desensitized. You can get people used to anything in the world that we live in, anything. Oh, you can get into the whole sexist story. Well, there's not really two sexes in this and whatever it is. And it's normal for a child to becoming a boy who's 4 years old or 6 years old to becoming, and to be a, it's all normal. It's very normal. It's all normalized. It's all desensitized and whatever it is. You can get people to wear a collar chain behind. Look at gang, people that wear their pants hanging below their boxer shorts. Right? And so, we'll make it cool. We'll make just about anything cool. Tattoos over your eyelids will make it cool. Or whatever it is, Gold. Let's put gold around you to make you a gangster, to make it cool. They made murder and going to prison cool. You're a gangster, you're a hustler. They made ripping other people off, deceiving other people. Jordan Belfort's, again, Wolf of Wall Street, one of my favorites. I always refer to. They've made it cool to be a gangster, to rip people off, to take away other people's hard-earned money and whatever it is. They've made it cool to do that. So you think they're not going to don a mask? Gee whiz, people. You think you're going to talk to somebody that a mask is not really helpful? and that it doesn't do what it's, and whatever you think you're going to tell them. You think you're going to tell them that this is a whole charade? This whole thing is a whole charade? You think you're going to tell them, and they're going, oh, thank you for enlightening me. Thank you. Oh, my word. I think I'm going to go and do my research. Save your breath, save your energy, But it's up to you. It's up to the individual. Whatever you wish, whatever works for you, whatever makes you happy, whatever floats your boat, whatever gets you out of bed in the day, whatever it is, that's fine. And for myself, decisions will need to be made, obviously, when things start encroaching more so. And they already have me, but they've been encroaching my whole life. I had to go to school. I had to be circumcised against my will. So many things against my will. What can I do? But it's getting tight now. I'm not gonna lie. All right, folks. I'll end off on that. Take care. Be well. Stay safe. From when they have that concern for you when you're at the airport, protect us, please. Because we care. All right, folks. Enough for now. Cheers.